Hey guys, Rude Dog Outdoors again. Showing you my other hammock. Like I said in one of my last videos, it's really hard to find a hammock in camo. Not that you need one in camo, that's just my preference. I got a thing, you know. It's the hunter in me. Anyway, here it is. They list this hammock, and there's quite a lot of reviews. I'm not going to get too much into it. Even Chris Tanner over at Prepared Mind 101 has one of these now. They list it as 10 foot. It's not. It's about 9'8". I think it's just shy of 5 foot wide. Nice, generous bug net. You can see it's like an olive green bug net on it. Pretty similar to the Snugpak hammock, Snugpak jungle hammock. That's it. With the mosquito net, a little bit bigger, a little bit more comfortable. You can see I got it strung up here, which is really what I want to talk about, is what I did for hanging this net. So this was a little add-on, but let's just start with this. All right, this is 1/8 inch bungee cord. I bought a 50-foot hank on Amazon from a company called Paracord Planet. You probably heard of them. Really high quality stuff, very nice. Cut it in half. So this is a 25-foot hank. It's doubled, and we start well, actually, let's start down the other end. All right, so I got a number 3 S-beaner. I tied a loop, a lark's head loop, in each end. Put that on the S-beaner. And we'll get back to that. Each side, each single strand goes through a loop on the bug net. And there's 6 loops, 3 on each side. So the bungee cord is supporting half, each side is supporting half the bug net. Came down here, and what I've done down here is I've just tied a couple of knots in it, kind of like you would do if you were using a rope suspension on your hammock, just so I can kind of customize the size for myself if I need to. What I'm doing is using these daisy chain type hammock suspensions, hammock straps. I really like these. And this is actually the one Tigris brand. You had to pay extra for it. It was only $16 extra, I think. The hammock's in at 35-ish, I can't remember. I bought this last year, but I actually had it for a while. Anyway, another number 3 S-beaner going to one of the daisy chain loops. And 25 foot is more than enough. That's why I actually had to put these knots in it, because it actually drooped just a touch. And I took a Prusik loop and threw it over the ridgeline for my tarp, and ran the shock cord, the bungee cord, through that. Just hung it up. It just keeps the whole thing hanging up a little bit higher. You can see I have a Lucy light on here as well, so it's enough to hold that up too. And in general, I'm really happy with the way it hangs. One more thing. Oh, yeah, I had done the video for Houseboat Rob about burning a hole in your bug net to run a structural ridgeline through it. I didn't have to do that. It actually will fit over the top, and when I get in it, it pulls it tight, so it snugs it just a little bit, but it leaves plenty of room. Focus down this end. It leaves plenty of room for the bug net to hang well over you, and the structural ridgeline gives you that nice little bit of sag. You can't really appreciate it because it's sitting in the Snugpak Underquilt, but that's a little better. Let me get back here. You see, it gives it that nice little bit of sag when you're in it. The structural ridgeline, the cord I used, you can see how thin that is, right? Doug, that can't support you, right? That's way too light. This is 300-pound test of that Kevlar cord that I was talking about. And this has been my experiment lately, this 300-pound test Bought a 100-foot Hank for $15, and it works just great as a structural ridgeline. I have no qualms about it. The other thing I want to point out, and I'm doing all this for a reason because I got something new I'm going to be showing you in my next video. So I want to get this knocked out. I've made some changes. I don't know if I'm going to be able to really show you guys, but made some changes on how I hang my Snugpak Underquilt. So this is the cord that runs through the full length of the quilt. What I did was I ran it up through a number 3 S-beaner, and it's just free floating in there. Goes through the beaner, comes back down, and all the corners are symmetrical, so this is all the way around. And then I just retied. Let's see if I can separate that so you can appreciate it. I just tied it to the loop by the corner where it comes out. You see that? So this is the floating end, and this is now the fixed end, and it just floats in this S-beaner. And there's 2 on there because each side is hooked here. And then that S-beaner, again, these daisy chains work great for this. That S-beaner is just linked into the daisy chain. I got it 1 link above my suspension. I could probably go another link above if I wanted to, or if I felt I needed to. I'm pretty happy the way it's hanging though. This is kind of going to be my warmer weather setup here. The Snugpak's not nearly as warm sleeping as the hammock gear, 20-degree down under blanket I got, Underquilt. Moving on, the other tabs, tie-out tabs, what I did was, I'm trying to fix this so you can see it properly, there we go, almost. Sorry about that. The other tabs are just, again, this is free floating in there. Have a tiny carabiner going on to the actual suspension that goes, the rope that goes through the hammock sleeve, the end of the hammock. Alright, and you know, I tried this with, boy, I just can't think that great today. I tried this with these things. Cord locks. So sorry guys. I tried this with cord locks and they slipped. It just wouldn't work. Doing a fisherman's knot this way, you tie just an overhand knot on each end of this over itself, and I can make it tighter. It works better for some reason for me. It just works better that way. And again, that free floats, and you know, if the need calls to, well, I'm gonna be trying this on an 11-foot hammock, but I'm not sure because my 11-foot hammock does not have daisy chain webbing, so that's going to be another experiment anyway. You get the picture. I tried to really simplify the way I was hanging the Snugpak Underquilt. It was really complicated. I had, you know, cords going to prusik loops up here on my ridge line, and you know, other cords going to the suspension, and blah 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 blah. And this has actually been working out really great. I'm really happy. And when I'm in the hammock, even though the structural ridge line is not inside the bug net, you know, it don't take much to just open the zipper, reach your hand out, hit the light, and turn on the Lucy light. I've been really happy with these Lucy lights. I know there's a generation 2 now. It's a brighter, bigger, brighter, longer lasting, better solar cells. I don't know. I'm going to try and get one of those in the near future, but I've still got a brand new one of these in the box I haven't opened yet. I have 2 of them that are open and a 3rd one that's new. Let me see, what else did I want to tell you. It really is working out great with the get this back into the blanket. There we go. Really working out great with the Snugpak Underquilt. Also been running the Snugpak top quilt. It's laying there on the ground with my little inflatable neck pillow. Been out here with just those 2 pieces, down around 40, 45 degrees. 40 degrees, a little lower, and fine, no problems. Me and my little dog spent the night before last out here. It was 42, 43. Occasionally I do bring in a light sleeping bag in addition to the Snugpak top quilt. Let me pull that out and show you. If you, bear with the shakiness. If you're not familiar with what the blanket looks like, here it is. And it's a pretty simple blanket. It's nice and warm, very warm, and has a foot box at one end. It's got these little wings that you tuck in underneath yourself. Really like this because it works so well as a secondary blanket. If you don't need, if you don't need something else, fantastic. If you do, this works out great to go in conjunction with a green bag from an MMS, or the black bag. I've used it with both for colder nights, and it works really nice as opposed to putting 2 bags together. I got some other bags I've tried, which I'll have reviews on after more long-term testing is done. I used this hammock once last year just to try it out. I got it pretty late in the season, and it was terrible. I had a terrible night's sleep. Guys, don't ever use a hammock for the first time on a camp out. Set it up in your yard, set it up somewhere, and lay in it one night to get the fiddle factor worked out. The problem I had was stretch. This thing stretched tremendously overnight and gave me a hard time. And somebody answered me a question. Why do these hammocks droop so much when it rains or when it's really high humidity or something? I've been having a heck of a time with that. If somebody knows, tell me. My research says that nylon, when wet, nylon stretches. But even when this thing's not wet, it's just wet out, it's raining out, or even just like I said, high humidity, I get a tremendous amount of sag, and it's the hammock, not the straps, that are doing the sagging, at least as far as I can tell. But that's it. I just wanted to touch base with you on this because I'm going to tear this whole setup down. I got something brand new I want everybody to see. This is going to be great. I'm really excited about it, and that's it. Look for my next video. I'm finally going to do a full-on review of my Outpost 2 hammock, the Outfitters, Longhorn Outfitters, no, whatever it is. You'll see in the next video, alright? Like, comment, share, subscribe. Guys, sorry I'm a little ditzy today. It's one of those days. And, hey, get outside. It's a beautiful day. Well, it was beautiful. It's not too bad. Get a nice look over there. Finally got some green coming out. It's mid-May, and I swear the leaves just popped in the last 4 or 5 days. It's been miserable up here for the most part. Anyway, guys, we'll catch you in the next one.